So you sit down and Mother Meera will eventually walk in after, however long, depends when you sit down, but generally like 10 minutes or so, Mother Meera will appear, everyone stands up. Mother Meera walks down the center and sits on a very humble stage. It's not very grand or anything. It's just a little platform. She sits there on a chair, all in silence. And then she'll sit down and she does daily YouTube meditations that are all silent blessings. So she does that on camera and we meditate with her. And then at some point that ends and the helpers, of which there are many, will call people up line by line to queue down the center and then work their way up basically to where Mother Meera is sitting. And you will kneel down in front of Mother Meera. And if you want to, you can place your hands on her feet. You don't need to. There's no requirement to do that. But a lot of her devotees will, and I did. Place your hands on her feet. She has got socks on, if anyone was wondering. And a sari kind of covers her feet, so it's not as strange as you may think. And you kneel down with your head close to her lap so that she can do what is known as pranam. So she places her fingers on your forehead and around your temple area. And within a few seconds, she's doing all this work. So as she places her hands on your forehead, as she puts it, there are two extremely thin lines which we're not aware of physically that run up from the feet and towards the top of the head. I believe they meet in the middle and then finish towards the top of the head. She says that these lines represent each soul, the soul's development. So the spiritual development of the soul will account for how far up these lines have worked their way. And as they work their way up, they have the potential to become knotted or become, knotted is how she puts it. She says that when she does pranam, she's actually untying the knots that happen along that line. Now, this is very hard for us human beings to kind of comprehend and understand as to exactly what she's doing, but this is how she puts it. And I presume that these lines represent, or when they become knotted, it's related to traumas, mental blocks, challenges that we've faced, maybe emotions that are dominating us, things of that nature. This is just my understanding, but I would imagine it's related to those types of things. And the line becomes knotted, and when she does pranam, she's untying these knots for us very gently. And I'm told by my teacher, only an avatar can do that work. So she does that. That probably lasts about 5 seconds or so, 5 to 10 seconds maximum. Then when she takes her hands off of your head, you look up into her eyes, and this is where she does what is known as Darshan. The whole process generally Darshan is an umbrella term for the whole process, but in reality they're split up into pranam, which is that process with the fingers on the forehead, and then Darshan after, which means to look a deity in the eye, look an incarnation of God in the eye. So you look up into her eyes and she immediately is aware of exactly who you are on a very soul level, and she puts Paramatman light into every corner of your being, every aspect, every sheath. She fills you with light. And this, in a very simplistic way of describing it, because truthfully, I don't fully understand this myself. I think it's impossible for a human being to fully understand it, is that this elevates our level of consciousness. This enables us to rapidly continue growing spiritually. And my teacher says this normally will shave off a massive chunk of our progress. So the progress that we would have made on our own, perhaps 6 months, we would have jumped forward 6 months by doing this process with Mother Meera. Just as an example, it's not that exact, but we make big progress basically. Now, as she's doing this, some people will see and feel things, but a vast majority of people will not notice a thing, other than the fact that you're in a deeply peaceful and quiet environment, so you feel very relaxed normally. Although if it's your first time, you might be a bit anxious about the whole thing. But generally speaking, I think a lot of people feel deeply relaxed and comfortable. And you won't, as I say, often people won't feel or notice anything, and that's quite normal. After this process, you then go back to your seat. That whole process there, placing the hands on the forehead and looking into your eyes, probably lasts 10 to 15 seconds as a guess. It will vary from person to person by a few seconds here and there, maybe 5 seconds difference, but generally it's roughly the same. And then you'll go and sit back down and you'll meditate for the rest of the darshan until everyone has had their turn. Everyone queues up row by row. And then eventually you will sit back down, meditate until everyone's finished, and then that will be roughly the end of the process. And that entire process is about an hour and a half-ish. She works through 200 people in that time.